Hello, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you and give you a little quick tutorial here on how to enter a Google Meet, some of the features of the Google Meet. So if you're in the 6th period day remote learning, you should see classrooms set up, and I'm seeing them from Ms. Dimich is seeing them from the teacher perspective, but you should also be able to see them, from the student perspective. And I have a couple where I am the student, and you'll see obviously the name like you're accustomed to. You might see, depending on the teacher name, a 1 after this. I put P2, P1. It might be a 1 afterwards as well. Either way, so you go in and identify the class that you have. You can, you can rearrange them by our order, like I have them, and then you should see a Meet link here. If you don't see it here, if a teacher hasn't generated it yet from on the banner, go to classwork like you would normally go to, and you can also get to it from here as well. So on that day, you want to enter the Google Meet. So I'm gonna start this one up. You'll see it from my perspective. So you're gonna get this. You won't see this. This is the an internal way to do attendance here. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But you'll see this and the identification, and you'll click on join now. And you don't necessarily want to use a phone for audio if you can avoid it. You're going to want to make sure that upon entering that you're muted. So if you can remember upon entering, go ahead and turn off your microphone. Because when you turn off your microphone, that way you won't your background noise won't be there when you're entering. So you want to go ahead and turn off that microphone, and then click join now. And then all this, will come up to confirm that that you want to join it. That may not come up for you because I'm the host of the meeting. So again, let's look at a double differences. Keep that microphone off until a teacher asks you to turn it on, because there's 20 up to 30 people, up to 32 people maybe in a meet, and you're going to be there's going to be a lot of people and a lot of background noise. So do that. There's a couple ways you can be recognized by the teacher to unmute your line. Do keep your camera on unless the teacher says it's okay to turn it off. Especially when you're taking attendance, they want to be able to see you and see your faces, especially at first. If you want to go to a couple other features here, you may have done this before. So if you have the grid view, if you don't have this, ignore it. But if you have the grid view, you might want to turn off grid view. For the purposes of this, you don't need to see everybody in your particular case unless somebody's presenting. What I would do is go over here, and I would use change layout. I would use either the spotlight, so spotlight on the teacher or whoever's speaking, or the sidebar. I like the sidebar. And now you won't be able to see it, but because I don't have many people in here, but the sidebar would be over here, and you have other people in the meeting. So either under change layout, either go to spotlight or sidebar, and that way the teacher or the speaker will be bigger. You don't necessarily, in your case, you don't need to see everybody's view, all the students. I mean, you can grid them, but your primary focus is to look at the presenter or the person teaching. So if you come over here, though, the teacher may ask you to use chat to be recognized. I can't emphasize this enough. Just like school, just like classroom, where you have the chat function being appropriate. This is a virtual remote classroom. You need to continue to be appropriate. Swearing, inappropriate comments, bullying, etc., is not acceptable in this environment. So you can be, kicked out of the meeting and kicked out of the chat. Please don't let that happen to you. So as we move along here, you can see the chat. It's not a place for idle talking either. It's teacher directed. Then you're looking at, you might have, hopefully you have the Nod extension installed. I think it's been pushed out to all of the Lake Fenton Chromebooks, so you should be good. So you can be recognized if you want to raise your hand, or if you want to, if your teacher asks you for confirmation you understand something, you can thumbs up, thumbs down, have a little party emoji as well. And so you can also turn on captions as well. And I might need to change the layout to turn on, oops. I might need, oh, my bad. I accidentally hit full screen, so I need to hit escape. Might want to change the layout to sidebar if I'm doing that for whatever reason. But the captions, it's changed because I'm the only one in here. It's making it so that my screen is smaller. So I'm gonna actually turn off captions for a moment and come back here. I guess if you can have the captions if you're not quite understanding what they're saying, but hopefully you may need that, but probably in most cases you won't. This is just my Screencastify menu, so that you won't see. If it's okay to turn off your camera for whatever reason, or you have a good reason to turn off your camera, you can go ahead and turn off the camera, and then you can see the emoji there. But then turn back on the camera, and then you can make your nods lighter or darker by going under settings. Again, you can see all the people in the chat, but we're not. And I'm sure your teacher will emphasize is not using the chat for idle socializing. It's for teacher-led or student-led discussion and questions that are germane to class, that are relevant to class. Okay, so you may also be asked to present your screen if you have something to share with the class. So you go on here to present now. You can present your entire screen, and then you can present multiple tabs, or you can present just one tab if you're just going to do one tab, and you can be able to do that. You'll remember to unmute. So again, you have the power to mute and unmute. I'm not going to lie, but you need to stay muted unless you're called upon to speak. So that is, and I think that covers everything that needs to be covered. So the settings. This is a little troubleshooting, just a quick troubleshooting. Make sure your microphone is on, and make sure your speakers are on. You can also test that, and then to make sure that you can see things, and then you can change the definition if you want. Most of the time, the standard definition is going to be best for our webcams. That's just under settings. If you need to change something, you can also get out of the chat. And come back to this view. So this will probably be the best view that you have, the sidebar view with some chat. I find that when I'm taking my classes to be when I've taken some classes over the summer to be the best. So this was just a quick tutorial on some of the features of Google Meet. Best wishes as you start using it. You'll be using it quite extensively over the next weeks.